My name is Jonathan Kovatch, and I'm a volunteer at the Christ the King Food Pantry here in Archbald. I'd like to share with you my story and how the food pantry began, how my faith called me to get involved, and the impact that the pantry has made on our community here in Archbald. After living in New Jersey for a number of years, my wife and I decided a few years back that we would return to our roots in Northeast PA to raise our family. Although my prior volunteer experience in any form had been very limited, my plan was that once we were settled, I would join a new church and consider volunteering in that church in some way. My intention was to contact the parish priest to find out the volunteer needs of this church. However, I consider myself a chronic procrastinator, which stopped me from making this phone call for a very long time. One of the Bible passages that I always enjoyed hearing at Mass was the parable of the 5 talents, which of course tells the story of the servants being entrusted with the master's possessions as he departs on a journey. I had heard this parable many times, but probably never fully understood it. In my naive thinking, I always thought that all 3 servants did well because nothing of the master's was squandered. Applying this to my own life, I pondered on how fortunate I was while seeing so many bad things in the world. People losing their jobs, high poverty levels, all the sad stories that we all view through media. I, on the other hand, had everything that I ever wanted. A loving wife, 3 healthy kids, a house, and a stable job. I consider myself a good person. I attended Mass every week, supported my church financially, and donated to various charities. Having all of these things made me comfortable and safe. However, I began to think to myself, if I passed away this very day, would I be able to tell God that I utilized my own set of talents on this earth to make it better? The last factor which led me to finally pick up that phone was that I got involved in an activity which many would consider one of greed. This activity also began to weigh heavily on me. All of these things came together in my life and hit me like a ton of bricks, finally prompting me to make that call to the parish priest. It was time for me to recover my long-buried talents, just like the parable. I met with the pastor, told him my story, and inquired about the parish volunteer needs. I then asked if the parish had a food pantry, which it did not. He then mentioned that another parishioner had also come forward with a similar idea, and he wanted to put the 2 of us together. This other volunteer, Nancy Kasperwitz, and I spent a lot of time getting the pantry prepared to open, which it was in December of 2008. This upcoming December will mark the end of the 4th year of the food pantry. I have witnessed many things over the 4 years which have amazed me. The dedication of the other volunteers who volunteer their time. We have received unsolicited food donations from many sources, including other area churches, Boy Scout drives, local businesses, and events run through the local PTA. Not only has this pantry assisted those in need, the pantry has proved to be beneficial in many positive ways. Youth of our parish, Boy Scouts, and other various students who need service hours have come to us looking to volunteer. Friendships among the volunteers have been established, which otherwise may never have occurred. Parishioners are leaving bags of food regularly at the church to help those in need. My feeling is that perhaps this direct giving is giving others the opportunity to do more than tithe, as I used to. For me personally, the most important thing of all is that we are helping those in need. Some of those being assisted have commented how much they appreciate and need the pantry. These are the reasons I put all of my time into the food pantry. I recall at one point someone told me they wished they had the time to volunteer to do something like this, which of course I understand. However, for me, I didn't have the time any longer to not be involved in something like this. The process of getting the pantry open was very burdensome and troublesome. I had many questions, concerns, and fears. My faith that this is what I was being called to do is what got me through the process. I now could not imagine my life without this food pantry. My fears and burdens are gone. Tuesdays, the day of the week that the pantry is open, has now become my favorite day of the week.